to another episode of Yogi Dave's Hobby Podcast, a podcast where I talk about tabletop RPGs, tabletop board games, tabletop war games, and everything these particular hobbies encompass, including painting and, building the models and all that kind of stuff. Now, a couple of weeks ago, Article 13, the new European law, came into force, or that was. No, it didn't come into force, but it was voted in by the European Parliament, and basically there's been a lot of talk about it, and as you probably know, I've been looking at starting a Twitch channel and doing tabletop RPGs with my new group that's started. You have heard or had the opportunity to hear the episode where we had our first adventure in Waterdeep, which was entertaining as fuck. I'm sure you will agree. And obviously, because of that Article 13, and it's got to be implemented the next 2 years, even though the fucking clusterfuck that is Brexit might happen for real, because Meebot and our fucking fannies are doing their bestest to make the Brexiteers and all the rest of them actually fall on fucking line with our shit. Oh, I'm getting into politics. I'm going to get off it right now. So, even though that's going to happen, possibly, hope not. Well, actually, at the same time I do. But there's different reasons for actually wanting it and not wanting it. Independence, bitches. Yeah. So I was talking to various people and I was thinking, well, why don't I have a setting that I've been writing for fuck knows how long, probably about 10 or 15 years, maybe longer. Probably the idea for it has probably been in my head from when I first started doing RPGs when I was in high school, and as we all know, that was 20 fucking years ago that I left high school, so it's a long fucking time. Let's just put it that way. So, basically this idea has been in my head and coming out in different forms or another for quite a while. So, obviously, with the advent of Article 13 and the possibility that if you put any copyrighted material on your Twitch or your YouTube or anything like that without permission of the copyright owners, you could get your Twitch channel, YouTube channel, whatever, taken down, got rid of, whatever. So what won't be doing, or what the plan is not what we'll be doing. What the plan is over the next 2 years developing my own RPG. Not just my own system, but not my own setting, but my own system to go with the setting. Now obviously, as we all know, systems come and go, and not every system's going to be a hit or anything like that, but what we're going to go for, or what my plan is to go for, is start playtesting it in about 6 months, once I've written it and got all the kinks that I think are out in about 6 months, and have it ready for a year and a half, 2 years. So basic idea is very much like Dungeons and Dragons, very much like Pathfinder, it's very much a magic world, fantasy setting, a little bit of steampunk, not too much, so I don't know whether it's steampunk or not, but there is a little bit of that in there with dwarfs and the gnomes. They also have black powder weapons, but they're very restricted. Bit of medieval, bit of Dark Ages, and a little bit different is there's psionics in this particular world. So if you don't know what psionics are mind magic. So in certain settings, it's used as a replacement for normal magic. And then other ones, it works alongside the regular magic. Now, a lot of people go, oh, well, it doesn't work, or this doesn't work, or that doesn't work, or it's not right that you've got this here and that here, and yeah. I've heard all the reasons for and against psionics, but for the particular world that I play in, there's parts of it where psionics are almost unheard of, and parts of it where psionics are quite prevalent. And it also, we have a completely psionic race who have disappeared into the annals of history, or so people think. They're just a legend. They're the warriors. I can't actually remember off the top of my head what it's basically a Gaelic translation of the warriors who walk in silence. I think it's the warriors that walk in silence. It's basically their racial name, their race's name. I know Gaelic, of course. I'm Scottish. It's not an exact translation, obviously. None of it is exact translation because I don't know Gaelic. You would think somebody is politically minded nationalist would know Gaelic, but no, I don't. But yeah, so there's them, and then we've got your typical fantasy races. Your orcs, Orcon, under a different name. Is it Orcon? It's something like that anyway. You've got your elves, you've got your dwarfs, you've got your halflings, you've got your gnomes, goblins, orcs. There's a multitude of goblinoid races as well, not just like your classic D&D ones, which obviously are going to have to be renamed if there's D&D trademarks and changed so they're not exactly the same. Obviously we can't have mind flayers because the obvious mind flayers at Illithids are a trademark of Dungeons and Dragons, and obviously Wizards of the Coast TSR. So yeah, we've got them, but there is a Cthulhu inspired race that actually isn't psionic, believe it or not. The passion resemblance between Cthulhu and Illithids, and that is because these things actually fly and get wings. Anyway, we'll get past that. There's an actual race that is a marriage of orcs and elves, so they're an entire separate race. They have their own homeland and everything. And we've got various other differences between the regular RPG settings that you expect, like Greyhawk and these things. We've got cat people, we've got dog people. There's so many differences, that races that that you can play as well. So, as I said, I'm going to be spending the next 6 months or so building the system, building the racial profiles, building the class profiles, building some monster profiles for them to fight, building some playtest adventures. What I'm going to say right now is I will make it available as an alpha for anyone who wants to try the rules out and playtest them and pass as much feedback as you possibly can, because this is literally the first time I have ever built my own game system for an RPG. I've tried building game systems for board games and war games and stuff before, and they've turned out alright, but not great. So I'm basically spending the next 2 months doing research when in my spare time, of which I don't really have a huge amount right now, with various other things. This is me being me. This is me just giving myself so much work to do, and you know what? I'm really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to the research, because I'm not sure what kind of system I want to use. I did put a poll out there asking people, what's your favourite, your favourite dice system? D10s, D100s. What? Tell me what it is. There was D20s and D6, D100 were the main ones, and then I put other. And explain why. Explain why people enjoy these. I mean, I like the D20 system. I like the 2D20 system. I like, various other systems. I like D6, the Star Wars West End Games D6 system. I love that system. Much more than I like the fucking D20 system from Wizards of the Coast. But shite. Shite representation of Jedi powers and stuff, anyway. It was kind of the same as the Wheel of Time. That didn't work for channeling. Really didn't work for channel. So, what system do I have these ideas, and I've got this in my head. Obviously, if I go with a 2D system, a 2D20 system, it's going to be me talking to Modiphius and having a conversation with them about whether or not they want to license it or that kind of thing, or they want to bring me in house or that kind of thing. I'm not a designer. I'm not a professional. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm winging it, and that's what I do. I wing things and hope for the best. And sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Winging it with my missus. I had no idea what I was going to say or do when I started talking to her. Going, yeah, cool. Because we used to work together, and I liked her pretty much from the moment I met her. I love her, obviously, but you know what I mean. Yeah, I wing things and hope for the best, right? Yeah, so. As I said, if it's a 2D20 system, then obviously I'm going to ask Modiphius. Modiphius. I can never pronounce the name properly. I actually have to get somebody from Modiphius on the podcast and talk to them about it. But obviously, if I got them on, then I'd be talking to them. If it was the Genesis system, the new one from Fantasy Flight, obviously I'd be talking to Fantasy Flight, but obviously licensing Genesis from them. If it's a D20 system, then it doesn't necessarily need to be the Wizards of the Coast one or the Open Game License one. It could be a D20 system that I make myself. D6 systems, D100 systems, all these different systems. You've got to look at them and go, right, okay, which one's best? Which one will fit the property, like the property, the intellectual property. Which one will fill the void the best? Which one will make the best system for the setting? Now, I mean, I've played D100 fantasy settings, I've played D20 fantasy settings, I've not played D6 fantasy settings. Obviously, I've not played a 2D20 fantasy setting yet. But I don't know, I need to look at it. I need to investigate as much as I possibly can right now. And yeah, so as I was saying, once like the basic settings and everything put together, I'll get people in to play test them, or I'll put them on a G drive And you can get the email off. You can email me and speak to me about it, and you can play test them and everything. I'll write adventures, like playtest adventures, in the world that is. It's called Haman Sharon, by the way. That's the word. That was probably something I should have said before. I do not know where the name Haman Sharon came from. I don't know where the names for the countries came from. It just came out of my head. Names for the races, the ideas, and all these different things. Yeah, I think that's. I was considering just talking for the entire podcast about it, just purely because it seems quite interesting. Well, it's interesting to me right now, and it's interesting for me to hear other people's thoughts on it. So yeah, but we're gonna move on. So Adepticon this week. So in America, and obviously Games Workshop do all the reveals and stuff at all these events and stuff. And they revealed the new Slaaneshi figures, and there's loads of people going, "Oh, got to have that, got to have that, got to have that." And I was talking. If you've heard the Dan Adam podcast, you know we were talking about honest reviewing and stuff like that, honest talk, and it's like everyone's like, "Oh yeah, I really love this, and I really love this, or I want to have this." And it's like, I'll look at them and I'm like, nothing pulls at me that makes me want to go out and spend money on these things. It really doesn't. It's like, it looks alright, yeah, but that's maybe just because I'm not a big Chaos player. Never have been. All the Chaos figures I've got are the Plague Marines for all the Chaos stuff for the Conquest box set. Everything else has always been, not my thing. Never been a Chaos player. Always been a loyal servant of the Emperor for years. But you know, the conversation me and Dan had, and I'm not sure whether or not I've talked about it on the podcast, because I don't go back and listen to them after I've edited them and posted them. I'm like, well, it's done. It's in the ether. There's nothing I can do about it now, because I try not to edit myself when I'm talking. I don't mind when people ask me to edit stuff out, because they don't want to talk about it, or they don't want it talked about. But yeah, it's like me and Dan obviously talked about how, you know, every time you look at a 40k review, it's always, "Oh, this is awesome, this is awesome, this is awesome, these figures are great, these figures are great." But you don't. It's like, well, you've spent 20 minutes telling me this is awesome, that's awesome, this is awesome. It's like, what's not awesome about it? You haven't spent any. I mean, he watched one of the Shadowspear reviews, and I've not seen it myself, but basically it was like 30 seconds a minute on the campaign. It's like, well, that's a fucking major part of the bloody box set. Why are you not talking about the campaign? That's weird. And also, you know, the thing with that box set is, the vast majority of people that I've seen that bought it because they were splitting it with somebody else. And it's like, weird. Why would you do that? But you know, I honestly don't get it. Why you don't get honest reviews? I've done a review video of the Infinity Rover, and all the Infinity Rover are not new. but they were new to me, and Infinity figures were new to me. Now, the thing is, I've been honest about it. It's like I love the sculpts, brilliant figures. They're gonna be awesome when they're painted, but they're a pain in the fucking ass to put together. That's the kind of review I want to see. I don't mind the enthusiasm. I love the enthusiasm. You can hear it when I talk about things. I'm passionate about the hobby, and these people are obviously passionate about the hobby. But when you hear them talk in reviews, but especially Games Workshop stuff, for the most part, it's not a fucking honest review. The people are shouting about them and going, "You've got to go buy this, you go buy this, you go buy this," because they're getting this stuff for free. Because it's always before it comes out. It's always somebody that's a reviewer, and they've got it for free from Games Workshop, and they love getting all this free stuff, and they review it for Games Workshop, and they're like, yes, I'm getting all this stuff, and they're getting it for free. So of course they're not going to bite the hand that feeds them, unless they're me. It's the integrity thing that I don't get. I don't understand why you don't just go, I love this bit, I love that bit, I don't love this fucking bit. Honest. You would think Games Workshop would want honest reviews. I mean, Games Workshop they're big boys and girls. And they all work hard. We all work hard. You would honestly think they would want people to buy the stuff and shell the stuff, I suppose, is the word for it, with honest reviews. Because people are going to go back and go, I bought this, it's not actually that fucking good. Why have I bought it? Because I watched this review. Well, what happened with this person? Did they buy it themselves, or did they get it for free, or, that's the thing. And it doesn't happen to everyone. I'm not saying it happens to everyone, because there are some people that are honest reviewers. They tell you how it is, and they explain why they like things and why they don't like things. That's fine. I don't have an issue with that. That's great. And they continue to be that way even when they get free stuff. Sometimes they don't get free stuff for long, but they still they still keep that honest integrity, and that's fine. It's the people that when they first start out and everyone listens to their reviews and they go, right, okay, tell me how it is. They get stuff for free and they shell for the company, and that's fine. If you honestly believe that there's nothing wrong with an item, then that's fine. But everything has its fucking flaws. Every set of rules has its flaws. Every figure has its flaws. Every anything. Paints have flaws. Brushes have flaws. Airbrushes have flaws. Glues have flaws. Materials have flaws. I use the Luxay PS stuff. I love the Luxay PS stuff. I've been using the foam flock for as long as I've been doing terrain. Some of it's great, some of it is awesome, and then some of it's a pain in the arse. Honest feedback. I was doing some boards last week, using the foam. Not last week, the week before. Because actually a couple of weeks ago, now that I think about it. And the foam wasn't hardening. It wasn't hardening. And this isn't my fault. No, this is my fault. A little bit. I didn't use enough fairy liquid in the mix. But there was fairy liquid in it. So it wasn't absorbing the mix to make it hard enough. So I was spraying more than what I was expecting. Now this is slightly my fault, but the other The other side of it, at the same time, it wasn't absorbing as much as it should be absorbing, and I don't know whether or not that's because I wasn't doing it right. So I'm going to continue to try and do different things, but I'm going to tell you when things fuck up. It's not necessarily the phone's fault. It's entirely possible that it was my fault. Entirely fucking likely it was my fault. But I'm going to be honest about it. If things don't work the way that they're meant to work, I'm going to be like, well, it didn't work as the way it's meant to work. That's feedback from me. It's honest. I don't know if it was my fault. I don't know if it was the phone's fault. But I'm going to be honest about it. And I know if I went to Luke and said to him, listen, love your stuff, this happened, he'd probably go, well, we'll figure it out together. Because that's the kind of guy he is. He's like, if my product isn't working properly, I want to fucking know. And try and work with you with it. I mean, obviously it's not going to give you free shit because you've bought it and stuff, and it is probably my fucking fault that it wasn't working properly. Probably not his fault. Probably not the material's fault. But I know from experience with him, customer service is key with him. I've had shipments that went missing. Do you know who the first person on the fucking phone to me was? Look. He was like, oh, I hear you having problems. He was getting ready to go away on holiday. It was literally 2 days before he was going on holiday. And he was still mindset of customer service, trying to make sure that the customer is happy. But at the same time, if it's not his fault, then he shouldn't be having to fork out extra money on it and all the rest, that kind of thing. But as I said, if it was his product's fault, I'm pretty sure he'd have been like, right, okay, we'll replace that with another batch, or replace it with this, or we'll try this with it rather than that. And you would think Games Workshop would want that. You would think Games Workshop would be like, well, we want honest reviewers. We want people to be honest with us about our products and tell us what we think. Maybe not. Maybe what they'd rather have is a bunch of fucking yes men. That's fine. That's their choice. But you're not going to trust the reviewer at yes man. Because he's a fucking yes man. Because he's just giving you the information that he thinks Games Workshop are going to want you to hear. I don't want that. I don't want to fucking listen to that all day, every day. I want an honest review. And I'm going to give you honest reviews of fucking everything. Dan Adams said you need to be nice about it. Or try to be nice about it. There's ways of being nice about it and ways of being a dick about it. It's true. I'm probably going to be the middle of the road between dick and nice, because that's just kind of the person I am. I try not to sugarcoat things. I try not to be that much of a dick, but I'm going to be honest. I'm going to tell you what I think. And that's it at the end of the day. That's what I want, that's what you should be looking for, and that's my thoughts. Now, understandably, this isn't the only stuff that's going to be coming out for Slaanesh and Chaos. Chaos has been pushed in the last couple of months quite hard with all the new stuff that they've been getting, which is cool, because it has been years since they've had a lot of traction. Obviously, the new Abaddon Though I'm still waiting on a new fucking Ragnar Blackmane. I want a new Ragnar fucking Blackmane. Logan Grimner got fucking 3 bloody figures before Ragnar Blackmane got a new one. So, away and fuck off. Bring Ragnar back. But don't make him a fucking Primaris, please. That's my shout out to Games Workshop. Ragnar fucking Blackmane. Shift it. You can bring fucking Abaddon back in a better fucking figure. You can bring bloody Ragnar Blackmane with a better figure. Did fucking Yao. Did Ulrich. Did Grimner fucking twice. Or 3 times, I can't actually remember. There's been fucking other Space Wolf fucking characters done since. Bring me a fucking Ragnar Blackmane figure that isn't a fucking Primaris. Don't want a Primaris Ragnar Blackmane. I don't play Primaris Space Wolves for the most part. I do have Primaris Space Wolves. When they're painted, they'll be Primaris Space Wolves. I did try a successor chapter, but then I was like, I'm bored of painting this. It was quartered green and yellow. You would think somebody who's a Celtic supporter and fucking part Irish wouldn't get bored of green and yellow, but you do. It's 2 shitty colours to paint. Sometimes. Also, the quartering was a pain in the arse. So I think we'll be stripping them and going back to Space Wolf fucking grey, and not the new Space Wolf grey, the Games Workshop Space Wolf grey, the Massive Space Wolf grey, the Space Wolf grey I started out with. Anyway, folks, so this is as good a place as any for a little ad for the Carrion show. So it's the Falkirk District Wargamers Club's annual Wargame show. It's on the 11th of May at Graham High School in Falkirk. If you're in the Central Belt, I highly recommend you come along. Even if you're just in the Central Belt for that weekend or that week or however long you're there for, come along, see the show. We've got traders from up and down the UK. We've got clubs from up and down Scotland. There's a few from down south as well. There's public participation games. There's display games. Every now and again, you've got a company that'll do the participation games of their own stuff. So yeah, lots of stuff you can buy, not just Games Workshop stuff. You know, you've got loads of historical stuff, terrain manufacturers. Warlord will be there. Warlord are there every year. Dave Thomas will be there. So if you don't know Dave Thomas does a lot of Perry stuff. He's one of their distributors, and various other companies. So I will also be there. I will be manning the Glasgow District Wargamer Society's display game. I'm not really sure. I know it's like Italians versus Yugoslavians during World War II, but I'm not sure where. I know it's in the Balkans somewhere, because Balkan Dave does Balkan stuff. So come along and say hello if you're there. I'll be the big goofy guy with the glasses, and not the long hair, because Andy McGeary might be there. Andy McGeary's the big goofy looking guy with glasses and long hair. I'm a big goofy looking guy with glasses and very little hair on the top of my head, but that's by choice. Yeah, I highly recommend it to anyone. There's also a flea market that we do with a club every year at the show. It's different from a bring and buy, and that everyone who is selling it is the people who own it, all the figures and stuff. It used to be really good because it was just people selling stuff. Now it's more like traders, taking small stalls rather than one of the bigger stalls. But you know, you still occasionally get a good deal. So yeah, come along, say hello, go to the show, have some fun, meet some people, maybe. Yeah. So that's it. See you later. I'm starting to rant now, or ramble rather than rant. I've already had my rant for several rants, I think. Yeah. So this week, obviously with Adepticon, all the tournaments and everything, the exclusive Primaris Lieutenant for events was first shown, or people got them for the first, and somebody was looking for them. I can't remember who it was. I think it was one of the traders that I follow on Twitter. Nice guy, really tries to get you the best deal, but apparently he was looking for a whole bunch of them for people, and he found one on eBay. I swear to fucking God, it was like 90 quid almost, with postage and packaging, from America to here. It might not have been a trader, might have been somebody else. 90 fucking quid. Cheeky bastard. Want to, I mean, break it off, right? Understandable, it's an exclusive figure, you can only get them at events. I don't know whether it's all events, or it's like indie events, or what, American events, or whatever it is. But, you know, at the same time, 90 fucking quid, you cheeky bastard. I mean, I know there's scalpers and shit. I mean, the Solar War limited edition, there was like 2,500 copies. It was sold out within minutes, and then scalper copies were coming up on eBay for, I think, 2 or 3 times the face value. It might be more than that, to be honest with you. And it's like, away and fuck off. I hate scalpers. It's like, they're not in it for the hobby. They're in it because they know these are exclusive items, they're limited edition, they've got the money to buy multiple versions, and they sell them for exorbitant prices, and it's annoying. And even some of them are in the hobby, which makes it even worse, because what they basically do is they buy these extra copies in order to fund their hobby. And right enough, that's the way of doing it, but it's still a dick thing to fucking do. Sorry, I had to go to the bathroom now. Yeah, so dick thing to do. Buying all this stuff and not buying it for yourself or somebody. You know, I don't mind if you're buying it for somebody that you know, because they haven't been able to do it. Or that kind of thing. Buying for a group. If you're buying for 2 or 3 people, or 4 or 5 people, and you're all buying it at the regular price, you're not going to sell it to them at an inflated fucking price, then that's fine. What I have an issue with is selling it for 4, 5, 10 times the face value that some of these things get sold for. And people will buy it because people have got the money. People want it. But what's going to happen when these Solar Wars limited edition, or Solar Wars, is it the Solar Wars? I can't remember. These limited edition books is they're going to sit on somebody's shelf for a very long time, because people aren't going to buy it. There are some people that are going to buy it, but they're not going to buy them all. Excuse me. And they're just going to sit, and nobody's going to get to enjoy them, and that's very annoying. I think probably that is it for the massive rant there. I was going to say something, but yes. So obviously, you have probably heard the interviews that I've done so far. Honestly, guys, if you want to come on to the podcast, you are more than welcome to. I'm happy to have everyone and anyone on the podcast. As long as you're hobby related, as long as you're in the hobby, in some way, shape or form. Doesn't matter who you are. Obviously you've heard Dan Adam and Paul Cook at this point talk to me on the podcast, but you know, obviously, I mean, they're two gamers. They're not like industry people for the most part. You know, Dan is becoming an industry person, even though I don't think he kind of realises it himself. He is becoming very much an industry person. I mean, the website and everything, and the shop and all the rest, that kind of stuff, and the fact that, you know, people come on his podcast and are happy to talk to him, and they sit down and they talk for an hour, and fine well that if they had the time, they'd be sitting talking for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. But Dan also knows that all these people haven't got a lot of time. But the fact that they've actually, that's the thing that you remember. These guys, a lot of them are one-man businesses, are very small businesses. Not every company's Games Workshop, or they're not big companies. There's very few big companies in the hobby. Most of them are centred around Nottingham, right enough, but there is not a lot of big companies in wargaming or RPGs or anything. Most companies are small, very limited operations, and the fact that they spend time talking to Dan, they'll spend an hour and 15 minutes, hour and 20 minutes, a couple of hours maybe, sitting talking to Dan. He's somebody important in the industry, in gaming as a whole. Just that's what I've picked up from listening to the podcast over the last year or so. It's an interesting thing, and I honestly don't think Dan has a clue that he is as important, or maybe not important, but as recognised as he is. You talk to a lot of people and you say, "Oh, I Painting All the Minis podcast, I listen to that," and they're like, "Oh yeah, I listen to that too." Yeah, Dan's a good guy. I like the interviews. I like the way he interviews people. It's a sit down and talk. It's not, throwing loads of questions at people. He throws questions at people that help bring out conversation. And I could sit and talk to Dan for fucking hours as well, man. I mean, we sat and talked for 2 hours. We probably could have talked for 4 easily that day. But yeah, if you want to come on, post me an email, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. I'm going to send a couple of emails out to people and talk to them. I actually want to send an email out to Modiphius, or send them a message, and ask them about what would go about doing using the 2D20 system. Yeah, because I want to know before I start looking at using it as a system. For my rules, because I don't want to use it and or start writing a set of rules and they're like, well, no, you can't use it. I don't think they would, but I think to be honest with Modiphius, it is finding the right fit for their system, rather than, I mean, obviously, Infinity, World of Darkness, Star Trek, Fallout, most of the rule sets, Conan, what, Call of Cthulhu, they do Savage Worlds. I didn't realise they did Savage Worlds, but no, yeah, most of their RPGs that use the 2D20 system are what do you call them? Licenses. Obviously, Cities of Mist, I think, is one of their own, but there's a lot of stuff that they do that is licensed. so it's not their own stuff. So I think with them it is very much what fits them, rather than licensing or getting a set of rules. I'm just looking at them right now. I'm interested, very interested. But I might talk to them about maybe coming on the podcast, because I don't know if they've come on our podcast before. It might be interesting to talk to somebody. There was a guy that came to the Wargaming Club, the Fokker Club, who was an employee of Modiphius, but I've not seen him for a little bit of time, so I don't know whether or not he came back after the first couple of shots. But yeah, it would be interesting to talk to them. Obviously they have, it's a small company, they have limited amount of time to talk to people, but yeah, that's 45 minutes almost I've been talking, and I don't actually have anything else to talk about right now, because my brain's, honestly man, I spent fucking 12 hours editing the Infinity episode, the 2, because it's got multiple audio sources, and also I kept on getting interrupted by spam fucking phone calls, but it's messed with my head a wee bit. I spent the last, I got home from playing D&D yesterday, and I spent easily 3.5 hours editing fucking audio. It's maybe less than that, but it was at least 3 hours editing the audio to get it finished for today. I didn't get to bed till 2 o'clock this morning, and I'm knackered. It's fucking 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm absolutely spangled already. Even though my new bed's awesome and I love it and I get a great sleep on it, I'm absolutely spangled still. So I'm going to say good day and happy hobby to you all in a minute, but I'm going to say, as always, there is a raffle to help keep the channel going, help me buy stuff for the channel, keep it going, you know what I mean? I'm not sure what it is right now, because I'm recording this a couple of weeks ahead of schedule, and normally I just wing it with this. And obviously if you're listening to this podcast later, you know that it's going to be done already. It's probably going to be terrain if you listen to it in the near future. Terrain pieces of some sort, which would normally cost you about 15 or 20 quid. Pardon me. To buy them off me. So £3 is not a bad deal. Trust me. The material and the time it takes is fucking a lot. The material itself, parts of, not that expensive, but when you put it all together it is quite expensive, and also building time and everything. But I'm getting into stupid things, right? So coffee account, buy me a coffee, buys your raffle ticket, you can win whatever the raffle is. It's always up on the coffee account site. The link is on the front page of my podcast website, which is obviously yogidavehobby.podbean.co. I'll put a link. Why am I putting a link? Never mind. Ignore. If you want to win some really nice terrain, you can obviously Sorry, just get messages off you on there. She took a picture of me when I was asleep. For God's sake. It's like my laugh. I've been editing podcast, obviously the Infinity podcast. I'm listening to my laugh and I'm like, my laugh's fucking terrible. Anyway, do digress. If you want to win some cool, I'm repeating myself over and over again right now. If you want to buy some cool, get some cool terrain, £3 will get you a raffle ticket. If you want a board's worth of terrain, you can commission me to build them for you. Just send me an email at davidjmu@yahoo.co.uk. It's a separate email. That's the business email. Obviously, I'll give you a price for what you want, and you can either go yeah or nay. And I know this is kind of one of those things, but I've decided 12% deposit down, because I've get burned a few times and I'm not getting fucking burned again. At least if I do it, I pay for the material out of a 20% deposit. What was I going to say? Yes. If you're enjoying the podcast, obviously like it, share it, subscribe to it, whatever you do, comment on it, review it, whatever, because that means more people will get to see it, because that's how these programs work. You review them, you comment on them, whatever, and people get them going. YouTube channel, same again. Like it, share it, subscribe it if you're enjoying it. Hopefully by this point we'll have the Twitch channel up and running for us doing D&D, as I've been talking about earlier on. Yeah, I think that's it. Hope you guys have a good day and happy hobby.